the quantum-verse automatic computer, or QVAC. Question to you guys, who here has used AI tools in October, in this month? Surely everyone, no? What are you doing if you're not? Okay, who here has used AI tools this week? Nice. Who here has used AI tools today? Who here has used AI tools in the past half hour? Wow, that's still a lot of the room is using AI. This is where we are in 2025, right? We are using AI all the time. And then there's also this part of the room that either doesn't understand my English or has not used AI tools, in which case, welcome. Maybe QVAC is the tool for you. Because today, most AI systems are not like QVAC. They are indeed centralized. They are trained, controlled, and sometimes censored by big tech. So what happens when AI becomes sovereign, as it may be the case with QVAC? When it's built on an open infrastructure and guided by human freedom instead of corporate algorithms. That is precisely what QVAC is exploring, a vision for sovereign AI for the universe. And join us. You guys ready, by the way? You guys are ready? Awesome, amazing. I was going to ask ChatGPT, but you guys are here. Joining us to explain how this future might unfold are Subash, who we've known for a couple of days now. He is the VP of Engineering at Tether, and Marco Chiappetta, I'm so sorry if I've murdered your surname, who is the Product and Engineering Manager at QVAC. Please put your hands together. Give them a lovely warm welcome to the stage. Enjoy, guys.
Thank you all, and it's amazing to see many more of you and see you all again. So today we present to you QVAC, our AI SDK and ecosystem. And I have Marco with me, who's the product and engineering manager for QVAC, who's been shaping up a lot of the vision for what local AI is going to be from Tether. So thank you. So yeah, we want to start by telling about what's the current change that's happening in the world. As we see, AI is permeating into every sphere of what we do. In one perspective, it is used as a society, like governments are using it, companies are using it, it's the world order is being shaped. And in another sphere, you can think of you using AI tools to improve your life. And in both these spheres, AI is already making a lot of impact, and key important decisions are being taken by AI already. But we have to see, what does this come at? We are using it for medical data. You're uploading your medical records. You're able to get good diagnosis. You're able to give it your assignments. It's able to do very good job. It's even able to solve homework for people, and it's also able to do your job on your behalf and enable you to do your job better. But again, what cost? That's the important part. Imagine all of what you are asking to the AI is going to one company's servers, where everything is being processed, controlled, hosted, and used in a way that you have no transparent view of. This is power, This is a lot of power being concentrated with one central entity, which could be abused, as we've seen in the past. And this is not a great, look, because the AI is really driving key decisions and key change in the world. And the power to this is in one hands is not a good, way to go. And censorship. So you are asking AI for advice, and you're looking at, okay, how do I do this? And AI says something. Imagine you trust this advice as, okay, AI knows a bit more than me, and you start to do those things. But subtly, what's happening is the AI is governing how people and societies act. And not just, the bias that is there in these models and these companies put, but censorship. Maybe you ask a question and you don't even get some answers because they think it's not for you to know. So you are actually being censored. Information is being censored and bias is being imposed without us really realizing. And these biases and censorship is contributing to a different shaping of the world than otherwise it would have happened, and that's not great either. And companies say that you have incognito mode, or you give data to us, we are there for you, but you just have to blindly trust. again, we've seen how that's been in the past. Companies saying one thing and then doing something in the back and then reserving a budget for when they get exposed, this budget for the fine. And they just do with that. But here it's your personal private data and your life that's at stake, and people are asking the most intimate and sensitive questions to these AI. And we saw a case where a popular AI company, all of the search records were available on a search engine. All the questions that people had asked. This is a nightmare in terms of how things are evolving. And the worst of all is how much money is being put into this. You get AI for free, but is it really for free? Nothing is for free. So some other person or some deep cost is being bared in the background, and it's going actually much worse into trillions of dollars. And where is all this going to take our economies and our future to is a question we really need to ask, because the way these companies operate is throw as much money as you can till they become the only player, but that comes at an enormous cost. We've seen many bubbles burst, and that's not a future, again, we want to go in. So our vision of AI is quite different. An AI is supposed to serve you, not serve somebody else, not be there for corporate and bigger interests. It's there for people. And the only way for an AI to really do that is if it's local, it's private, and offline with you on your devices. Because if it's running somewhere else, not your AI. Not your device, not your AI. And the way our AI vision is shaped is that we don't lock you to this model, you have to only do it this way, etc. You can load any model into the AI SDK and the tools that we have, and you can even fine-tune your models, introduce your own prompts, and your AI should be in your control. You should be able to tell it exactly what you want, pick the right model, and it should work for you. So that's how we are going forward with this. And everything that we do as Tether is peer-to-peer and built with freedom and an apocalypse resistance in mind. So imagine you have the best models in the world behind few servers operated by one or two companies. They want to take that model down, switch that server off, model goes off. This is not a world we want to see either. So all our models are hosted peer-to-peer using the hyperdrive technology from HolePunch, which means it's like torrents. Everyone has a piece of the model or the model themselves, and they contribute when you download a model. So it's not coming from one source, and there is no one server to take it down. Fully peer-to-peer. And the same vision extends to the agents that we are going to be building as well. An AI agent, again, doesn't have to run on a server. Your laptop can have your agent with all your knowledge and serve on behalf of you. Somebody else's agent serving on behalf of them. All of these agents interacting peer-to-peer collectively to solve a problem. So this is a future that we are seeing. And we know that mobile phones, as cool as it is to have AI in them, you might have use cases where you're a researcher or you have something complex going on. So we also have inference delegation as a feature. So if you have a very powerful computer at home, maybe something with 128 gigabytes of RAM or more, which is becoming very affordable these days, you can run cloud quality models locally at your home, and you can have those results on your phone, laptop, wherever you go. So this is an inference delegation feature allows, and Marco would show you more about that. And the most important thing is every time you build an application, because I know there are some developers here, you are building for the cloud differently and you want to do it on the device, you do things differently, but this is something we want to solve with QVAC. You write once, use the same APIs, use the same functions and so on, and it should work whether your model is running on your phone or it's running on the cloud. So this is what we are shaping through the QVAC SDK. And to give you a better sense of what is QVAC, there is going to be an cross-platform open source SDK that allows developers to build AI-powered applications seamlessly. Right now, if you were to build an AI-powered app, you would maybe get a cloud key somewhere, and then you use an SDK, put the key, and you write a few lines of code. AI works in your app. We want to give that exact same experience with local AIs. So QVAC SDK is built to be a modular open source SDK that lets you pick and choose the parts you want and build your AI applications that work entirely locally. And we are also releasing a few apps along with it, the first of which was released yesterday. It is QVAC Workbench. Again, I'll let Marco go into the details of it, but there are a few more apps that we are releasing as well, called the QVAC Health, which is meant to be your health assistant, and the QVAC Translate, which is going to be your private local translation app. And we are thinking of a few more advanced features in the SDK, because it's not just about building apps for now. We are seeing into the future where people will want their AIs to be more and more adaptable and trained with their own data. So we are adding fine-tuning as a native capability into the SDK so that the models that you use can learn from your data and adapt to your expectations. And we are also working on having multi-node inference. What that means is if you have a computer, a powerful phone, a tablet, and a bunch of these devices at home, why should you be limited to what only one device can do? You pool all of their compute, and you can do much more. So that's the idea with that. So leaving now to a practical demo of what QVAC Workbench is, Marco can show that.
All right. Thank you, Subash. All right. Before we start, how many use ChatGPT? Yeah, there you go. How many of you have been victims of fraud or identity theft or something like that? You don't have to disclose, but I guess it's a bunch of you. OK, there you go. Everything is fine until it's not.
Yeah.
Right? OK, so Workbench is our attempt to show you that you don't have to use ChatGPT. Today, there are limitations on the models we can run. You will see from the demo that we are only running models that are compatible with mobile devices and some desktop devices. There seems to be already a shift towards local AI. We are starting to have very powerful hardware, even just laptops, that can run multiple hundreds of billions of parameters in terms of models, right? So that includes your favorite coding assistant kind of thing. In this demo, I'm going to show you three things. The first one is going to be basic inference. Everything is running on my phone. Okay, just to clarify, all that you're seeing is not going to the cloud. And the first thing I'm going to show you is, a basic chat. Okay, so what I could do is simply ask, hey, can you explain Bitcoin in 3 key points? Let's hope that it doesn't hallucinate. Yeah, there you go. And I'm going to run the inference, and there you go. I'm getting an explanation of what Bitcoin is. Why? Because Bitcoin was part of the training set for this model. Okay? You can see that the speed here, you have 2 kinds of metrics. The first one is time to first token, TTFT, and the second one is tokens per second, TPS. And what we really care about is TPS, because in this case, you can see it is 30 tokens per second. It's pretty similar to frames per second. If you played a video game, or if you're watching a movie, you want that to be as high as possible, but there are diminishing returns, right? The second thing I want to show you is vision. So I'm going to load a small vision model. It's just 500 million parameters. It's called small VLM. So what we saw now was Llama 3.2, 1 billion, which is the open source open model of Meta. And now I'm going to take a photo of this beautiful audience. There you go, smile. Nice. And I'm going to ask, what's in this image? And you can see the result is the image captures a vibrant scene from a conference room, bathed in the warm glow of fluorescent lights. The room is filled with a sea of attendees. Yeah, a sea of attendees. Their faces illuminated by the soft glow. Amazing, amazing.
All locally on the phone.
Yes, this is all local. I wish I could turn off Wi-Fi to show you, but unfortunately the setup doesn't work without Wi-Fi, so we need to keep that on. But you can try it yourself today. OK. The last thing I want to show you is what we call delegated inference. Okay, so on my laptop here, I have the desktop version of Workbench, and as you can see, it works similarly to mobile. You can just chat with the model, and as you can see, the speed is very different. It's 160 tokens per second for the same model. We were getting 30 on this one. OK, well, what if, I hope it works. It will work. We could just scan a QR code, right? This is my MacBook, so enable what we call delegated inference, right? Sorry, you were not seeing my phone. Yes. So what I did was, I can do it again very quickly. I'm going to scan the QR code, and you can see that I'm adding this device, and I'm now enabling delegated inference. Okay? What this does is it allows me to run the query on my phone and delegate it to my laptop in a completely peer-to-peer manner. There is no server in the middle. This is completely peer-to-peer. All you need is these two things. It's a Hyperswarm topic. Hyperswarm is part of the whole Punch stack, and the public key of the provider, right? And you can also implement ACL, so you know who is using your service. And I'm going to ask the same question. What is Bitcoin? And now you can see that it's much, much faster. Okay? And now it matches the speed we were seeing on my laptop, which is 160 tokens per second. What does this mean? It means that if your phone is not, mobile device is not powerful enough, you can delegate to anything you have at home, right? It could be a laptop, could be a rig, you can buy a GPU, you can run your own models, you can buy a cluster of Mac minis and plug them in, and it will work. Yeah. And I can still use desktop as normal, right? Like this doesn't prevent me from keep using desktop. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the demo. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we can switch back to the slides.
Awesome.
Yeah. You can download Workbench today. If you scan this QR code, you'll get to the website. We have Windows, Linux, macOS, Android, and we're waiting for approval on iOS. Sorry. I hope it's going to be ready by tomorrow. But you can trade today. So what powers Workbench and all of the apps that we're building? It's what we call the QVAC SDK. So QVAC SDK is an attempt to bringing order across all of these fragmented ecosystem of local AI tools, right? You have a bunch of engines, Llama CPP, ONNX, MLC, a bunch of libraries. Where do you start, right? The answer is, and for now we support JavaScript, but we're going to be multilingual. You just use QVAC SDK. This exact code, the same exact code, no line changes, runs on every single platform. If you're using React Native, obviously, this is JavaScript. So iOS, Android, Mac, Windows, Linux. And you can see that in a handful of lines of code, you can load a model, pay attention to the URL. That's a pair URL. That's a BitTorrent-like URL, right? So you're downloading from other seeders. This is not from a centralized service. This is not Hugging Face, right? And then you just load the model. You send your conversation list, right, of messages. You get completion, and that's it, really. And this supports vision, it supports transcription, TTS, a bunch of other things that we're cooking. Yeah, this is for developers, clearly. The other two verticals that we're tackling are health and fitness. And so we have QVAC Health. We hope to release it very soon. Obviously, you don't want all of your medical data to end up in some Altman's pockets. So if you use QVAC Health, it's going to be fully local. And the same for translate, right? Translations can be pretty sensitive. So you want something that runs fully locally on your device. And that's the third vertical we're going to tackle.
So another thing that I want to showcase, thanks, Marco. That was awesome demo of what we've been building. And the team that's been building this nights and days are sitting back. So shout out to all of you. Amazing. So another thing that we wanted to see was how easy is the QVAC SDK for developers to build? Because in the end, what we are building all of this is for developers to make AI apps that run locally. So we ran an internal hackathon where we gave developers the QVAC SDK, and there were, I think, 100+ participants, and then they were able to build 40 projects with good-looking UI, really impressive functionality, with just 2 days. And a few of the apps or the projects that I want to show, but I see we don't have the time to go into all of them, is a home assistant where someone was able to control the lights, fans, and pretty much any other electronics if you want to, but they simply demoed motors and lights being controlled by simply as, hey, turn off this light, turn off the bedroom light, turn on this fan, and it all works. With just 2 days, they were able to build something like this. Then there is Assist, which is you can have a vision-based assistant where you point to something, it's able to describe things for you. These are things that we thought AI could do some time back. Now it's happening, and it's happening locally on your phone, like you just saw. And QMesh, which is you could say a federated or a distributed inference platform. So it's from mobile apps to IoT to even distributed cloud projects that are working on QVAC SDK in a matter of 2 days to build something to showcase as a proof of concept. And this showcases how powerful it is. But where we really see this going is, you saw how impressive it was to ask a question like, what's Bitcoin? And you saw answers popping up. But it would be really cool if you can say, hey, can you book a restaurant for me? Can you do this research for me? Can you call my friend and organize a party on this date, invite these people? It can do, there is a personal aspect of you calling them, but you could use their agents also. And an AI could totally organize something such complex tasks, do searches for you, purchases for you, all of this fully automatic with just your voice. So that's the vision of what we want to build with QVAC Assistant. All of your data will be fully private and on device, and it's all going to be enriched by your conversations and your preferences and what you would like. And it can, like I said, coordinate with other agents peer-to-peer. So you don't have to say, hey, when is the best time to meet you? Look at my calendar. Are you free at 10 o'clock? Nope. You just say, I want to meet someone. And then it's able to put a meeting slot into your calendar fully automatically by talking to the other person's agent. So that's one cool thing we are working towards. And this is a very, very interesting topic. As AI is starting to evolve, we are also seeing robotics evolve at a very rapid pace. People are saying, and I also believe in a few 10 years or so, we will have robots walking among us, doing simple things from buying your groceries, taking your dog out for a walk, to even maybe doing jobs among us, right? Lifting things and maybe organizing things, etc. So how do all these robots work? They are able to see, they are able to think, they are able to do actions. And they use AI to actually decide what to do, how to walk. Everything is being controlled by AI. And right now, the way these robotics are being evolving is, there is some parts of the things happening on the robot, but a majority of the intelligent actions are happening on the cloud. And now things get scary. Imagine thousands of robots walking among you, and then they are all being controlled by one cloud server. You see where it's going, Terminator, iRobots, and all these movies. So it's a very scary thing to even just imagine. We don't want that, and it shouldn't be the way. So QVAC SDK is also, like you saw, it was able to run a vision model, but it can also run VLA models to do, okay, if you see this, say a greeting, like vision to action, right? So we can have QVAC run on tiny hardware that's part of these robots to actually power the robot completely in itself. And even if there is no internet, there is no connectivity and so on, it's going to work, and no external control on the robot. If it's your robot, it should only listen to you and your commands. So that's what this will allow. And the universe is the limit, because we are seeing robotics come, we are seeing AI agents, really being able to use this to automate a lot. But really, everything can have AI. The light bulb can have an AI. You can talk to it, switch off, and it should switch off. And a fan could, start, and it should start. And simple things could have their own AI embedded in them. And that's where we are seeing QVAC really permeate. So I think that's it. And you want to learn more about QVAC, you can go to qvac.tether.dev. And I hope you try the Workbench app. It's really cool to really feel what local AI can already do, which is very cool. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to take some questions from the audience? I'm sure there are. Yeah.
Of course.
I'm also increasingly convinced that Subash was sent from the future to help us and protect us with his AI.
When QVAC is going to have the search on the internet feature, or it does?
So tool calls are the next thing that we are already working on in the background. In I don't know, some time, you will see a feature on Workbench that says, enable search, and you will be able to do searches. So very soon is the answer.
Just to clarify, the SDK already supports tool calls.
Yes.
They're just not in Workbench. But if you want, you can connect it to an API, and it will work.
Yeah. We are polishing the experience, you can say.
Yeah.
Question over here.
Thanks for the interesting presentation and product. Do I understand it that actually what you run locally are kind of like open source AI models, or do you train your own model, and then how do these open source models compare with, let's say, the best models of ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever? Do you run some benchmarks? Because it's all cool and private to run your own AI, but if the answers you get are like inferior to what, let's say Grok gives, then obviously as a user you're like, what should I choose? Like privacy and a poor model, or like, give my data away and have better answers? Do you have a view on that?
So the way we think about is in two steps. Maybe 70–80% of the questions people ask to AI can be solved by smaller models on device directly. So already, if you are able to prevent that 70–80% from going to the cloud, that's a big win. And we are able to use these smaller models with agents and adapter models and newer technologies to improve that 80% to maybe 85–90. And so you can think that at one tier, the local AI can solve everything for you. And if there is a research question that you are asking, hey, can you compute this and blah, 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 it's going to send only an anonymized or tokenized version of your question to a cloud or a delegated node maybe to get the inference answer and come back. So the idea is to serve most of your needs fully locally, and we are already able to do that with small models which can do tool calls. There is RAG. So RAG lets you take information like Google search, Wikipedia, all of those, put it into the model and answer things that a small model would otherwise not be able to do, and bridge that gap. But if you really have to use a bigger, powerful model, you have a gateway to do it securely. So that's one way we are thinking about it.
Thank you. Another question over here.
Thank you. So two very short questions. The first is, when SDK?
We are hoping to have it, and we will have it in January.
OK, not 2 weeks then.
Yes.
And then the other one is, you said that the model download comes from a pair URL and not Hugging Face. Could you talk about the availability of models and just generally how they're added to wherever they're coming from?
So right now, we maintain a small repository of models, which you saw in the Workbench. But the Workbench app also allows you to download or put in a Hugging Face URL and then take that model directly. So the registry is small at the moment, but we are expanding this registry to include a broader, most used set of models so that more and more models are downloaded peer-to-peer. So it's something that is going to expand.
Where are the hands up? Yeah, this man in the white shirt.
Just to better understand, what is the difference between your solution, what you offer, and a Olama locally installed in my computer? I can do the same.
Yeah. So you can think of Olama as a packaged app that basically does this. So Workbench is also meant to give you a similar experience. You just download and do it. But Olama just released a web UI, and there are other apps that can do local AI, so Workbench can do that too. But the beauty of QVAC really is in the QVAC SDK that we are building, which will allow developers to build any app. So if you have Olama running, and you have another health app, for example, and how would you connect them? You would expose a Olama URL, ensure that your health app inputs the URL, and then you configure this. So a user can't just download a health app and have AI functionality. But with QVAC SDK, you're able to embed these AI functionality into any and every app. So that's where the beauty comes in. Workbench is to give you the experience of local AI.
To anyone that wants to take their lunch, feel free, but we will continue questions because we have a captive audience, right? Are you happy? Sorry, I've just given away your lunch break.
Yeah.
You okay with that?
Sure.
Cool. Thanks, Subash.
Yeah, thank you. So a quick one. I'm excited to see your vision. So listening to Paolo Arduino yesterday, but my question is: you are leveraging Oyama as a model, and Oyama.
Yama?
Yama. Olama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's by a big company that in a market where different initiative like QVAC can rise. They can decide, okay, we don't want to make this open source anymore. So, what's your vision on your own model or on that kind of perspective?
Sure. I think you were asking about those Llama models,
Yeah,
which
the
we were
list of
using.
models.
Yeah. So at QVAC, what you saw is QVAC SDK and the apps, but there is also the QVAC model research team within Tether that's working to build our own AI models. One of the first parts of any AI model training is data. So QVAC yesterday released QVAC Genesis, which is the world's largest synthetic AI LLM data set. It's 41 billion tokens, and it is a data set that is used for training small and even bigger LLM models from scratch. So we just released that yesterday, but in the background, we've also been training AI models which are meant to run on edge devices. So we already see this, Tether, we are getting prepared for any sort of situation. So in future, it's not just external models. We will have our own models, QVAC models, to power these apps.
Thank you.
Oh, you did. Great. Cool. Thank you for your question. There was some more at the back here. Yep. Like I say, if you want to go to lunch, feel free. This is eating into your lunch break.
Thank you. So nice demo that you showed that you can share from another device and then use it from another device. So the question, my understanding is, you can do now is to load a model on a powerful computer, for example, 20 gigabyte GPU. But if you don't have such a card, I did understand it right, you want to do it in the roadmap in the future to allow, I don't know, smaller gaming computer to collaborate with another smaller computer. You will not have the same power as the cool GPU, but you want to make it possible that you can use in your home and with your friends, like 10 people, and then you can still load the model that requires, for example, 30 gigabyte GPU.
Exactly.
Is it possible? You will make it happen, Mazi?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So we're experimenting with that. That's multi-node inference, right? There are a few bottlenecks that we need to tackle because right now it's been done successfully by wiring up very powerful devices on a very capable network, right? Whereas what you want to do is do it on a home Wi-Fi across multiple devices that you own or even over the internet, right? So that's the kind of challenges we're trying to tackle. They're not easy. They're like, we're trying to push the state of the art of what's possible today. But yes, we're working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we also saw people do is power up or pair up a few Raspberry Pis to run models that are bigger in size, and that's already possible too. So we are just shaping the experience so that what you are wanting to have is something we can deliver.
Hi, Subash.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one question, like, let us assume I installed QVAC in my personal mobile device, and I enjoyed for charting with the 3 months, and I store everything in my vector database, everything fine. One day, my mobile, died on my face. Where my data is and how can I retrieve that? Like a disaster recovery, right? Yeah. So because this is local AI models, how we are going to get the data back? I mean, all my conversations, my vector DB, everything. Is there any backups or anything in the cloud?
Sure. So we didn't showcase the feature because we had limited time, but the Workbench app already has a sync feature that lets you have 2 mobile phones or a laptop and a phone and put them on a network of peer-to-peer, no servers or cloud. All peer-to-peer networks scan a QR code, copy a key, put there, and they are all swarmed, and they all sync the conversations.
Is that encrypted? Is that encrypted or?
End-to-end encrypted in communication, and then stored on your device, so you don't have to give it anywhere else.
So can I store that in my Google Drive or maybe OneDrive somewhere? Like?
So
my own personal drive.
So let's say you host your own server and FTP server or something. We can give you maybe a script to back up the data into that. But a better way would be to run Workbench on that. Maybe even we can have a CLI tool maybe that you can get a code from, scan, put it into your phone, and it automatically syncs in real time. So anytime you ask, it's already there.
One more question, like, I am a, in-depth developer, and I don't want to use Workbench, but I want to build my own vibe coding tool and use QVAC SDK to build other apps, which will have local AI. Is that possible with the SDK?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, okay.
The SDK whiteboarding tool you mentioned. What?
No, see, just like, yeah. So let us assume there are vibe coding tools like Cursor and Windsurf and all. I want to build,
coding.
Yeah. I want to build my own vibe coding tool because Visual Studio Code is open. I can build my own, right? So, and I can integrate QVAC SDK in that, and I can able to build apps, web apps or mobile apps, Expo apps, whatever. Yeah, I can integrate SDK and I can achieve that, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's really great thing. Yeah.
Many ways to do it. You can have a plugin for VS Code that runs QVAC in itself, or you can run QVAC separately, connect to it. So many ways to do it.
Someone actually built an NA10 plugin for QVAC.
Yeah.
And works pretty well.
It was part of the hackathon. In 2 days, they built an NA10 QVAC plugin.
2 more questions, just 2 to go. Yeah, is that okay? I get the impression we can ask Subash literally anything about computers, AI, or tech. It's very impressive, Subash.
Hi, so I'd also love to have a chat with you later about what you were discussing before of distributed computation. I'd love to have a chat on that. And I also wanted to ask if you are planning to build something like Codex or Cursor. And we've seen how they're changing the world of developers, so that would be great to have something that runs locally, especially for like companies with NDAs and stuff that you really can't share online. And are you also planning something, or you already working on files management and local stuff, like Codex can do, but like in particular for documents, or it's just text? How it works?
I think I can, So I didn't show it, but even Workbench has a RAG feature, retrieval augmented generation, right? So you can upload a bunch of documents. They get, we calculate the embeddings, all local, and then you can query them. You can talk to your documents pretty much, right? So it's the same workflow for pretty much everything you mentioned, right? There is a RAG component in all of that. Our goal is to be able to, at some point, to do anything you can do today on the cloud locally. And that includes coding, that includes, like having a medical assistant of sort, everything. It will take time, but that's the goal, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Marco, so 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks you have Codex, yeah, sure. No problem.
Okay, one last question.
Get started, guys.
Is there one last question? Yes, man here.
Oh, by the way, we have a booth up in the partners area. Come check us out, and we'll be happy to answer all of your questions. Look for those guys. Yeah.
I missed part of the presentation, so forgive me if this was covered. I'd imagine if you have several apps, they connect to a local AI model. Every single app might require their own embeddings, their own fine-tuned models. How would you cover, if you have, say, 5 different apps, you want to try out different ones that connect to QVAC, I'd imagine they'd all need to download all these different fine-tunings, all these different embeddings.
Yep.
I'd imagine that requires quite a lot of space locally.
So there are 2 options. The first one is all of your apps use different models, right? In that case, there is no way around it, right? You need to load them both in storage and in memory alternatively. Thankfully, unloading and loading a model takes like a couple of seconds right now. We see that becoming instant at some point. So it's not a huge overhead. The second option, it's again something we're working on, is that you have a bunch of apps that share the same model or the same set of models, and we can kind of swap them in memory using a background service. So all the apps know is how to connect to this background service, and this background service takes care of handling all the resources like the models. That way, you don't duplicate storage, well, storage is already not duplicated, right? But memory usage, that's the most important thing. So we want to be able to share the same memory for multiple models or multiple versions of the model.
So if you're running a background service, can users customize whichever AI they want to load within an app? Do they have full control over which AI they would use for any specific app?
It's the apps that tell the background service what model they want to load. And as long as the next app wants to load the same model, it doesn't have to be reloaded.
But can the user select a different? Maybe I have my own fine-tuned model that I want to use for a specific medical.
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Very cool.
Future that we are thinking is you have one QVAC base model that is generalized, capable of everything, and then you have an adapter model for health use case, adapter model for translate use case, or different use cases, and these adapter models are 10 MB, 40 MB, 100 MB, whatever, right? So seamlessly you're able to switch between these adapter models and everything works. And even in the background, you can have AI stuff happening, like some emails coming, it's being processed, some other app getting something, it's using its adapter model processing. So this is something we are thinking of. But yes, it's important we evaluate, which option is best, and then we help propagate that.
Thank you so much, guys. Please can you remind us where we can find you one more time?
From the entrance, go straight up the stairs, turn right. That's the partners area. We'll be there. It's WDK and QVAC next to each other. You'll see the booths.
Amazing. So if you have any further questions, do go chat to these guys. Take your opportunity today to speak to them further. Please give it up for the AI rock stars, Marco and Subash. Amazing stuff, amazing stuff. Thank you, thank you.